Hi ladies. I thought I'd do a quick video for you. I just went through something with my husband that I thought, you know what? I'm sure all of us go through this because we all have an enemy that's trying to destroy our marriages. And so I just wanted to talk to you about it and encourage you and give you some, I don't know, direction. Yeah, maybe some truth. So anyways, yesterday started out amazing. I had a great time in my secret place with the Lord, doing the tabernacle, all that, and just so filled with the Spirit, so excited about my day. And I know when I'm filled with the Spirit because when I go out in public, like people just start sharing like their life with me and telling me things they're struggling with, and it's so interesting. Yeah. For example, I went to the sauna, and the manager there would just started opening up and sharing with me about her life, and she's going on a cruise, and she's upset because she had to do payroll on her cruise because she's the only one who knows how to do payroll, and like she just started talking to me about all this stuff, and I'm like, okay, wow. So I just know when I'm in the Spirit that the Lord just brings me opportunities to encourage and speak into people's lives if they invite me to do that. So I was just like on cloud nine. The Lord was totally using me everywhere I went yesterday, and just in miraculous ways, people opening up to me that I had never expected to just like totally open up to me. And so I was coming home from Orange. I was visiting my dad in the hospital, and pray for my dad. He's back in the hospital. He's got blood clots, infections. Yeah, because he just had this major surgery. But yeah, just keep him in prayer. So anyways, I'm on my way home, and I was worshiping all the way home. It was like it took me an hour and a half, hour and 20 minutes to get home, but it seemed like just minutes because I was just like cloud nine, worshiping, so excited to tell my husband everything that happened during the day. And I get home, and he pulls up at the same time, and we had to come right in and get busy working on his business, billing out and all office stuff. And I just felt like, I don't know, just kind of like we were all like annoyed with each other, but for no reason. And so we got through it. We did what we had to do, and he went and took a shower, and I started dinner. And the plan was to eat a quick dinner and to go have our coffee date. So we sit down for dinner. We hardly said anything. It just seemed like it was really hard to even like strike up a conversation. It was weird. Like we're not like that normally. And so after dinner, he says, you know, do you really want to go to a coffee date? And I'm like, well, yeah. I mean, either way. And he's like, well, I'm really tired. Let's do it another night. And I knew in my spirit I should have just pushed the issue and said, yeah, we're going. But I gave in to his being tired. So he went and sat down and got on his phone. And you know, when you go on Facebook, it just shows you those videos, like plays video after video after video, and you get sucked in. Well, that's what he did. And I cleaned the kitchen, and then I just sat next to him for like a long time, probably like an hour. And I was like falling asleep. He didn't say one word to me. And I was like, okay, you know, whatever, I'm going to bed. So I go get ready, I get in bed, and then he comes in and he gets in bed and we talk a little bit, and then he turns his back to me, and I was just like, what is going on? But I still cuddled him, I still spooned him, and he fell right to sleep. So I was like, okay, so I fell asleep. And then I woke up in the morning spending time with the Lord, and he told me he had to leave at 5:15, so it's like 5:15. I'm like, he's not up yet, so I better go wake him up. So I go in there and turn on the bathroom light attached to our bedroom, and he snapped at me, and I was just like, whoa. I'm like, honey, it's 5:15. You have to get going. I'm like, are you still grumpy from yesterday? And he's like, maybe. And so I turned the light off, and that's when I was like, offended. And I was like, you know what? I miss my husband. That's what I said. I miss my husband. And I walked out. And I came in here to spend my time, to continue my time with Jesus. And Jesus said to me, go back and be with your husband. And I was like, okay. So I went back in there and got back in bed with him. And he like grabbed me and was holding me. He's like, why are you so angry with me? What? I was like, what? I was like, you ignored me last night. You turned your back to me in bed. You snapped at me this morning, and why am I angry? And I just said to him, I said, honey, I said, your heart is far from me because your mind is far from me. And how do I know that? Because I'm the same way. If I'm not thinking good thoughts about him during the day, my heart slowly drifts away from him. So I said, your heart is far from me, so because your mind is far from me, so what's on your mind? What are you struggling with? And he basically unloaded all this stuff, all these burdens and worries and doubts and fears. In other words, he's being attacked by the enemy. And I'm like, well, have you prayed about this stuff, or are you just thinking about it? Are you just worried about it? And he goes, I've just been thinking about it. So Satan just filled his head with all these thoughts that pushed any thoughts of me out. And so I was like, well, can I pray over you? And he's like, yeah, sure. So I prayed over him. I said, do you want to pray? So he prayed, and he repented of how he was treating me. And, we brought that connection back again. And I was just wrecked because when I was out about yesterday ministering, the Lord put this, I was listening to, a lot of times when I drive, I'll just turn on the Bible, and because I have all my scripture, in my journal lined up that I want to read. So I'll just turn it on my car and listen to it. And this verse really struck me. I stopped the Bible, and I was like thinking about that. It says in 1 Peter 22, 1 Peter chapter 1, verse 22, since you have purified your inner being by your obedience to the truth, in genuine brotherly love, you must now earnestly, constantly love one another out of clean hearts. Okay, but just that first part, since you have purified your inner beings by obedience, the version on my car said, since you're sanctifying yourself through obedience. And I was like, what? Like, we purify and sanctify our hearts through obedience. When Jesus tells us to go do something, whether he tells us or he tells us in scripture to go do it, when you do that, you're purifying your heart. So it was just, and then so I got that verse yesterday, and then this morning he totally played it out for me. He's like, go be with your husband. And I was like, okay. I didn't even hesitate. And I climbed back in bed, and I brought back that connection. And so through my obedience to Jesus, I purified my heart. I was no longer like frustrated with him anymore, and he wasn't distanced from me anymore. So, yay. It just made me think, oh my gosh, like you guys probably go through stuff like this all the time. And I just wanted to encourage you that a lot of times when your husband feels distant from you, it's not you. It's a bazillion other things the enemy's hitting him with. His work, paying the bills, things that need to get done at home, his health. Like, when my husband was rattling off all this stuff, I was like, oh my gosh, no wonder he didn't even have time to think about me. He had all these burdens and worries and concerns. And then I felt bad for him. I'm like, okay, I learned my lesson. So when he feels distance from me, number one, we're having a coffee date. Number two, I'm not just going to let him drift off into despair. I'm going to go after him. I'm his helper. So going after him is loving on him, is getting him to talk and to share his heart and mind. It's praying with him. Yeah, it's speaking truth to him. encouraging him. That's our jobs, lady. It's not, our job isn't just to keep the house, keep the kids, run the errands, make love. Like, we're there to notice when our husbands are struggling and to say something's wrong and something's trying to cause a division between us, and we know what that something is. That's the enemy. So, anyways, I just wanted to encourage you because I know we all go through this, and let's fight. Let's fight for our marriages. Let's just not give up and take offense when our husbands seem frustrated or distant or they're ignoring us. There's a reason. Okay? I love you guys, and I hope you have an amazing rest of your week.